Of the thousands of leaders that have been through this process, 95% who follow the process show that those around them perceive they have positively changed.
So Bill, the question that I have to ask you is, can leaders with over a decade of experience, can they change their behaviors positively?
The answer, Jessica, is a resounding yes. And the answer has been proven in practice with thousands of leaders using a process called stakeholder-centered coaching.
And it may seem like an obvious question, but not to all of our viewers. So what is a positive behavior change?
Leaders have success, and with this success, certain of their behaviors are causal. So for example, saying thank you to their team, being persistent, having a vision. These are all positive traits that leaders have. At the same time, leaders have other traits which have negative impacts on those around them. And it's not evident if these are causal or if they're in spite of behaviors. In spite of behaviors are ones that are not helping those around the leader, but the leader is successful in spite of these. It could be something as simple as saying no and not being open to new ideas or able to listen. It could be something having to win too much and always taking the prize and taking away the ambition to win from those around you. So there's many of these in spite of behaviors that can hold back those around a leader and reduce their engagement. Does that make sense?
It does. So now let's talk about the process. So how does the process work?
Excellent. Let's go to a one-page overview of the process, and it's really very structured and simple. It all begins when we start with a 360-degree assessment, which is done online, so very non-intrusive, combined with some short half-hour behavioral interviews. Based on those inputs, the leader and a coach will traditionally select one or two improvement areas where the leader wants to focus for the next year. This is a very focused approach to help make sure the leader makes indeed good progress in those areas. Once that area is selected, we follow a very simple but not easy 7-step process. The process demands a lot from the leader, but the steps of it are quite simple. Let's go through them together. First, the leader works with their stakeholders and they ask them a question. They then listen to the answer, only listening, not making any remarks, and then they thank their stakeholder for that input. Once the leader has gathered this feedback from their stakeholders, they take that back and reflect on it, often with a coach, and think about that feedback and convert it into what we call feed forward, responding to their stakeholders with what they're going to change in the coming month. Following that, we move into the changing behavior and perceptions part, where the leader actually changes their behavior and the stakeholders perceive that change. This is a monthly cycle that we repeat 8 to 10 times, and the leader every 2 to 3 months can request some feedback from the stakeholders through what we call a leadership growth progress review. And this is a simple 5 to 7 minute online survey that participants take to share with the leader how they're progressing on their goals. The interesting thing about this simple process is the results are simply astounding. Of the thousands of leaders that have been through this process, 95% who follow the process show that those around them perceive they have positively changed, which for people in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s is pretty exciting to think you can change your behavior no matter where you are in the world or how successful you are.
Well, Bill, once again, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your insights.
Thank you, Jessica.
Well, that's all from us here in the Geneva studios, but if you did like this interview, then do like and comment on dukascopy.tv.